And then Jagar Tharn, he basically turns himself into the Emperor. Like he looks like the Emperor. He's in disguise, using this magic. So everybody thinks that he's the Emperor, and he starts doing all these bad things, and starts like creating these like minions. He sends the head of the Imperial Guard, to the dungeons, and his name is Talon. You're Talon. You're that character. He sends you to the dungeons, and he says, "This guy's no use to me, and I have nothing to worry about this guy." So he sends you to the dungeons. You're like, what the hell just happened? Why did the Emperor send me down here? And Rhea Silmaine takes up this incorporeal form, like a ghost. She becomes a spirit, so that she could warn Talon, or Talon, I don't know how to say it. I'm going to say Talon. She's going to warn you of what's going on. She's got to tell you, that's not the Emperor, that's Jagar Tharn. He's got these plans. The real Emperor is stuck in oblivion. So she tells you, and she's like, you're the only one. I don't know who else to tell. And so she creates this key with magic. She creates it, and you escape. This is pretty much how all the Elder Scrolls start. You are in a dungeon. So you escape, and she teleports you into a different province. Now, the only way that you could take down Jagar Tharn is to obtain the Staff of Chaos. So what Jagar Tharn did with the Staff of Chaos was he broke it into 8 little pieces, and he just spread it throughout Tamriel to make it harder for someone to even find the Staff of Chaos, because that's what held his life force, the Staff of Chaos. And since you, Talon, you're basically the only person that Rhea Silmaine can trust, she tells you have to do it. So you have to go, that's basically what your mission is in Arena. You have to find the pieces of the Staff of Chaos so that you could stop Jagar Tharn. When you do find all the 8 pieces and you put them together, you realize that it's not complete, that you need the jewel. The jewel is like the key part to the Staff of Chaos. And that jewel is in the Imperial Palace, where you were in the beginning. So you have to go back over there. You go into the basement of the palace, and you battle Jagar Tharn there. And when you touch the staff to the jewel, finally merging them together, Jagar Tharn melts. He dies, and the Emperor and that general are released from the other dimension, and the Emperor makes you the eternal champion. So that's pretty much what Arena was about. Now let's talk about the Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall. Daggerfall came out in 1996, so 2 years after Arena. Now the actual game of Daggerfall was, to date, one of the biggest Elder Scrolls games ever made. And I think it's even bigger than Skyrim. Arena was just, the map was ginormous. It was 6 million square kilometers. Daggerfall was 161,600 square kilometers. You could only travel between those two provinces, High Rock and Hammerfell. Everything else, the actual game, was huge. They were saying that the size, the 161,600 square kilometers, is roughly half the size of Great Britain, with over 15,000 towns, cities, villages, and dungeons for the player to explore. Morrowind, compared to Daggerfall, to how big it is, Morrowind is only 0.01% the size of Daggerfall. And it's not like developers created the terrain like specifically in Daggerfall. It was all randomly created by the program. So it didn't take like freaking 50 years to create because they were like putting all the detail. No. Now that's one thing that Daggerfall lacked, was detail. Now it was huge. There was a lot for the player to do, but it lacked in it suffered. Detail suffered because of because of how big it was. They couldn't really focus on the detail for it. The story for Daggerfall is a little bit different because you could get 1 out of 6 endings. Daggerfall is a city in High Rock, and it's a Breton city because the Bretons come from High Rock. You are sent to Daggerfall by the Emperor, and the Emperor wants you to do two things. He wants you to free the ghost of the late king Lysandus from his earthly shackles. So I'm guessing he's kind of stuck here. The second thing he wants you to do is to retrieve a letter from the emperor to a blade spy in the court of Daggerfall. The Blades are a group, they're pretty powerful, of elite spies and commandos. They're in the service of the Emperor. They were created, the group was created by Tiber Septim. He was the first Septim Emperor, so that's who the Blades are. So the Emperor wants you to retrieve a letter from the Emperor to a Blade spy. And what the letter says is that Lysandus, the king that died, the one that you have to free his ghost, his mother, Nulfaga, knows the location of the Mantella. And what the Mantella is, it's pretty much what you need in order to resurrect or to create again the Numidium. I apologize if I butcher some of these names, because what these are, they're golems. They're huge golems. In the Numidium have been a part of Daggerfall, the game, and also Morrowind. So they're they're a reoccurring concept. So the Emperor, what he wants is for this lady, Nulfaga, to tell you, to reveal where the Mantella is. Because the Mantella is the key to bringing these golems back to life. The Mantella is an artifact it's like a green soul gem. It basically gives the Numidium a heart. It's like the heart of the golem. These Numidium were created by the Dwemer, and the Dwemer are deep elves, and these deep elves are pretty much extinct, that lived in the region of Vardenfell, which is this little island in Morrowind. That's where they used to live. They were actually referred to as dwarves, and not because they were small. They were actually like the size of a human, but they were referred to as dwarves. They think that they were referred to as dwarves because giants came in contact with these deep elves, and they saw them smaller, obviously, so they were referred to as dwarves. So the Emperor basically wants this blade spy to get this information out of Nulfaga and find out where the Mantella is, so that this spy, the Blades, could recreate the golems. But through a series of confusions, this letter that was supposed to end up with the Blades ends up in the hands of an orc named Gortwarg, and he has no idea what the Mantella is. So he consults Manimarco, the king of the worms. He's the leader of the necromancers. It's a class. While this is happening, the Underking was the person that originally, he was the battle mage of Tiber Septim, like the kind of like Jagar Tharn was to Uriel. The Underking was the one that destroyed the first Numidium, the first golem, because it was just being misused. It was being used for bad purposes. And the Underking is actually still recuperating deep within a tomb of High Rock. He's still recuperating from this battle, because just killing the Numidium just drained him completely, because it was just way too much. He needed to use a lot of strength to kill this golem. But in order for you to give the Mantella to anybody, you have to kill the person that killed Lysandus, the king, the previous king, and put his ghost to rest. That's why the Emperor was like, that's what you have to put Lysandus' ghost to rest. So you have to kill his murderer. Once you do this, the power of the Mantella restores the Underking's power. So you could get 6 endings. Some of the endings are if you activate the Mantella yourself, while you still have the totem, which is what controls a golem. It's kind of like a little baton. If you activate the Mantella and you have the totem in your hand, the golem will kill you. When it comes to life, it kills you, and it goes out of control, and it's destroyed by Imperial forces. That's one of the endings. You get killed. If you give the Mantella, this is another one. If you give the Mantella to the Underking, he absorbs its power, and he passes into eternal rest. If Gortwerg, the orc, if he comes out winning, if he becomes victorious with this whole Mantella thing, he uses the golem to destroy the Imperial forces and the Bay Kings, the rulers of the several provinces of the Iliac. The Underking then arrives after to destroy the golem, and he dies in the process because it's just he wouldn't have been able to survive killing 2 golems. He was already drained after the first one he killed, so this one just completely kills him. And then Gortwerg, the orc, creates Orsinium, which is the kingdom of the orcs. Another ending is, if the Blades are victorious, they succeed in recreating the first Numidium and use it to defeat the Bay Kings, defeat the orcs, and to unite all the provinces of Tamriel under the Empire once again. If one of the Bay Kings wins, this is another ending, they use the first Numidium to defeat all the other kings just before the Underking destroys it and himself. If the King of Worms receives the Mantella, he uses it to make himself a god. And that's pretty much how Daggerfall could end. Now let's move on to Morrowind, Elder Scrolls 3. This came out in 2002. It's set in Morrowind, and in particular, Vardenfell, that little island right there. It was the first Elder Scrolls game to play on a console on Xbox. The story begins with a prophecy that a great hero, long dead, named Nerevar would be reincarnated to unite and liberate the tribe of dark elves, the Dunmer. You become this great hero. But just because you become this hero doesn't mean that you have to do this. You have to fulfill the prophecy. You could do whatever you want because, it's an Elder Scrolls game and it's a free roam game. You could do whatever you want. You could become an assassin, and you don't even have to fulfill the prophecy. So it's all up to you. So that's pretty much what that game is about. I wasn't able to find more on Morrowind. I'm getting my information off the Elder Scrolls Wikia. So so they didn't have a lot of Morrowind on there. They just had what I just read. So I assume that they don't have too much on it just because the Elder Scrolls started to become a little more open-ended as they went down the line. Like once Morrowind hit, it was more open-ended, I believe. And then Oblivion even more. So it all depends. Like I think Daggerfall was the first one to do that whole 6 endings, 1 out of 6 endings, and then the Elder Scrolls games just followed that type of template. So I mean, like it says, it begins with the prophecy saying that this great hero is supposed to unite and liberate the dark elves, but you don't have to do it. Like you could just do whatever the hell you want. So if it happens or not, it all depends on you. So that's pretty much it. After that is Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 4. But like I said, I'm gonna do a separate video on that because I want, because if you have to look really carefully in the Wikia to find more information on Oblivion, because it's kind of like Morrowind, where it just has a little piece. But it says it's basically about this. But if you look around more, you find more about it. So I really want to talk about Oblivion on its own because this is going to be really big if I put Oblivion on here, and I want to put as much detail on it. So yeah, that's pretty much what Arena, Daggerfall, and Morrowind were about. If you want to add more stuff, please feel free. Please add it into the comments. Send me a message, anything. Because I haven't, like I said, I haven't played any of these games, but it is kind of confusing, especially when I was trying to talk about Daggerfall, because of there's just so much history there that you can't just say this is what happens and then everybody's like, what the hell was that? Like, what is a Numidium? who are the Blades and what's this and what's that. So I tried to give a little bit of backstory from each little group, but yeah, hopefully that made sense. And hopefully that was interesting. I will be making more of these, and I will be talking more about like the history and the Daedra, the Aedra, because I know we're gonna be hearing this stuff in Skyrim. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.